Hi, welcome to the Conversation of Mass, where we converse about Mass. Today is the fourth part of our four-part series diving into the four different stages of matter. Today we have plasma, the one that'll make you sound really smart in fourth grade.
The
Ryder,
one that not many people know about.
Ryder, what is plasma?
What is plasma? That's a very good question. See, most people just think plasma is the stuff in your blood that's expensive and you have to donate it. But plasma is a state of matter that is often thought of as a subset of gases. But no, that is not correct. Like gases, plasmas have no fixed shape or volume and are less dense than solids or liquids. But unlike ordinary gases, plasmas are made up of atoms in which some or all of the electrons have been stripped away and positively charged. So the ions left over are able to just roam freely. And there's a lot of energy. So, Caleb, what does plasma actually make up? Like, where can we find plasma in our world or in a fictional world?
I mean, plasma, it actually, to be honest, I don't really know. I know it can be in places like lightning is a big one.
Yeah, so lightning. Lightning is probably the most common plasma that you're able to be the closest to in real life. I mean, if you get hit by lightning, that's obviously not a good thing, but you can see lightning outside of your window at like 2 a.m. when it's keeping you up, like the neighbor's dog, and the snow plow goes by, and then like a giant truck drives into your house, and then you wake up startled and realize it's all a dream, but then there's actually a snow plow that goes by. Anyways, lightning is at a very high temperature, and this gas, because lightning isn't actually a solid or a liquid, so the gas that the lightning heats up is actually plasma, briefly, because it gains so much energy that these normal atoms become ions, releasing energy, which is why it creates the light and the heat that it does. So what's another example of plasma, Caleb?
One thing that, is plasma that not many people would know is actually, or at least most likely would be, lightsabers.
Lightsabers.
As in the lightsabers from
theme.
Star Wars.
But don't cue Star Wars theme, because that's copyrighted.
Yeah. Ryder is in choir, if you did not know, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a very gifted choir student. That was one of my best performances. I've been training for that 4 months, Caleb. You would not even believe. I looked at the sheet music for this song before I was even born. Like, they had to surgically, like, get it inside of my mother so I could look at it and learn it exactly for this date. And I have practiced 4 years learning the exact rhythm, the music theory, and everything that goes into that song just for that exact moment. The vocal technique, everything, Caleb, led me to this exact moment where I was able to sing that song.
Ryder, Thank you very much. It sounds like your life's purpose has been finished.
It is. I might as well just die now. Be shot into space and be with the rest of the plasma. But lightsabers.
Okay. Yeah, lightsabers. So, where I actually get this is an old video from quite a while ago.
Where 2012.
Was it 2012?
That's so long. It's probably 20. Didn't everything happen in the year 2012?
2016.
Honestly. 2016 and 2012. I mean, it would make sense because those were both election years, but like...
Those were like the two big years that just like existed.
I feel like I only remember 2012 and 2016. Like, if you asked me what happened in 2015...
yeah.
Like
it
grade or something?
It feels weird to say 2013, 14, and 15.
Those years just got lost. Like, Caleb, what did we do in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015? Okay, so...
2012 was, what, 7 years ago? 8 years ago?
Well, so we're 1920 and this is the 2019-2020 school year and we're in 9th grade. So that means the 15-16 school year would be 5th grade, and
Bruh.
the 2013-2014 school year would have been 3rd grade.
That's
So
just
3rd grade was 2013-2014.
holy crap.
And that means I was in 2nd grade for part of 2013. And that 2013 doesn't feel that long ago, but 2nd grade definitely feels like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
I don't really like thinking about that.
Time is strange.
Time is strange. We talked about in the 2nd episode, actually. If you haven't heard the 2nd episode, I would strongly suggest go listening to it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but lightsabers.
Yeah, so back to the 2016. Watched a video by a small-known YouTuber. I don't know if you've heard of him, but the Game Theorist. He's, I don't know, not many people know him, but yeah, he released a video on the Star Wars lightsaber versus the Halo energy sword, and I won't really
Both
get
nerd things that you may or may not know. You're probably more likely to know the lightsaber because Star Wars is much more mainstream. But Caleb, can you tell us, the viewers, what exactly those two items are?
as I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
We'll only stick with the lightsaber because of the fact that
Okay.
the energy sword is not as well known. But
Okay.
it was, I don't think it was proven, but it was shown that the most likely, I guess, thing that both of them would have been made out of would be plasma.
Which makes sense because lightsaber literally looks like channeled lightning, channeled star energy, but not very, very, very diluted. Like the Sprite I
Yeah.
just had that was 4 days old and had been slightly opened in the fridge, and then I dumped it into a cup that had a little bit of water in it because I was thirsty earlier after practice. Then I used the same cup to preserve cups. You know, we're activists out here, nature activists. So I put it in the cup. The disappointment was immense. Like, my entire body cringed a little bit drinking that.
Seriously?
It was like seltzer water mixed with tonic water mixed with spit. Plus a little bit of lime juice. It was not great.
Lime juice.
Kind of ruined my entire life,
That's
honestly.
Hmm.
Like, I kind of just want to take, like, a long nap after that. But not... Just long enough so I forget how bad that Sprite was.
Interesting.
Okay. Lightsabers. Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about lightsabers?
So I actually haven't watched the video in quite a while, but he basically went through, and it was basically showing how, with all of the different attributes that a lightsaber has, and the fact that it can be different colors, he actually showed what would happen with plasma, and the fact that it could be contained like that. And he also showed, like, what am I going for? What materials, I guess, or elements would produce the certain colors, further proving that...
Potassium makes purple. Always. And
Yep.
forever. Bro, potassium is such an interesting element. Like, nothing can beat Oganneson, but I'd say potassium is a close second. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean,
Bro,
but
it literally,
potassium's
like,
okay.
is banana. Potassium is banana.
Well,
You
actually,
literally...
banana is
You ate a
potassium.
banana today, Caleb.
I had a
stole your banana.
potassium stick today. Whoa.
Bro, what if fruits were just named after the main vitamin that they included, and then the shape? So, banana would be a potassium stick. Like, what would an apple and orange be? Like, an orange would be citric acid round.
Citric acid ball.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Imagine if everything just was named in a literal sense. What if everything was just named by its chemical composition, and you had to say the entire chemical composition every time you said it? So, like, paper, you have to, like, do, like, some fancy chemical equation for, like, the tree that it was made out of, like the nitrogen and cellulose and glucose and stuff that was used to produce it, and then the ink that's like ink. I don't know where ink come from. So where does ink come from?
Well, I
Like
know it
squid,
can come from
makes an ink.
squids and stuff.
But ink is a liquid or paste that contains pigments or dyes and is used to color a surface to produce an image, text, or design. Okay, well, that's
Interesting.
pretty much what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be something groundbreaking, but yeah. So
Yeah.
apples,
Vitamin C.
vitamin C, antioxidants. So it'd be a red antioxidant vitamin C sphere.
Nah, it's not a sphere. It's a.
Apple shape.
The only thing that I want to call it is a plump, and I don't know why.
A plump, Caleb. A plump.
It's not even a shape.
Caleb just invented a new shape, the plump.
It's the only thing that I can think of, and I don't know why.
What else? I'm not gonna ask that question. Okay.
Okay. Before we get into any of our next topics, one thing that actually
What
talking
about
about
stars?
these, we'll get to that. We'll get
Okay,
to that.
Caleb.
But I want to
Stars are just the most interesting part.
We'll get there, Ryder. But I remember reading an article quite a while ago. It had to have been no more than a little over a year. But it was about like the largest I guess it's technically a protein in the human body, but it has like the largest
Protein.
name or chemical formula, I guess. And it's a protein called Titin, which is actually spelled
Titin.
Titin. But if I remember correctly, it was the name has 189,900 or 819 letters.
Now that is not okay.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. Here we go. Here's one of the articles. Yeah, so Supercalifragilistic is you need to say that over 5,000 times to come close to matching its letter count.
Now that
And
is hideous.
the full name can be found in a 65 kilobyte text bit file. That's massive.
My God, is that just like pi but in alphabet form?
Basically. I want to see if I can find the...
What is it with people and naming numbers after Greek letters?
I don't know.
It's just annoying.
Found it. The protein's empirical chemical name or chemical formula is C169,719, H270,466, N45,688, O52,238, S911.
Jesus. Oh, not Jesus. Because actually, today we found out that Satan is more present, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's
Because
a little something to look forward to.
We have a more interesting topic to cover, which is stars.
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 Stars are...
I mean, astronomy...
Stars, kind of like Star Wars.
Astronomy is like such a mediocre science topic, honestly.
Yeah, it's...
And number one up top, like 17 feet tall, you got chemistry. Chemistry is just the big dog, the thickest dog. Like Clifford the big red dog of the science. That's right at the top. And then standing about 10 feet tall, you got physics. Physics is pretty cool because it uses math, and math is the only thing that comes close to beating science. Right below that, at maybe 6 feet tall, good height, you have biology. Biology
Nah, I don't.
Eh.
Last time I checked,
Biology.
I don't like biology.
Biology is like English science. It's just like memorizing words about stuff. Like we took life science, which I mean, that's what biology is in 6th grade. The only thing that was good about that class was the teacher, but we'll get to that later in a different episode.
Ooh, yeah.
So then, right below biology is astronomy. Astronomy, I mean, it's pretty dang cool. It can be interesting, but also it's so theoretical. Like, the nice thing about chemistry, biology, physics is that you can observe those things with your 2 eyes. Your 2 eyes are relating to biology. And your 2 eyes, I mean, chemistry makes up everything. And also, your eyes involve physics because of motion. So literally, all 3 of those sciences apply just to looking at stuff. But then astronomy, like, only a very select few of the population will ever be able to see space with their own eyes from, like,
From space itself.
right in front of them. Yeah, from space itself. I mean, you can always look through a telescope or see pictures, but that's just not the same.
No, it's
And then
really
all
not.
of these theoretical planets, yes, it is very cool. And in the future, it could be possible to make it all the way out there. But it just seems so impossible, given all of the struggles and, like, how far of a distance that actually is to get all the way out there to be able to explore those planets. So it's just so theoretical that it's hard to get into it fully.
Yeah.
And then below that, you have geology. Nobody likes geology. Get out of
No.
here, geology. You literally,
I don't know why you.
you're
even
literally
mentioned it.
dumb as bricks. You are a brick.
You
Geology is
literally a
just the
brick.
study of bricks.
It's so much brick that it has the intelligence of a brick.
Geology tastes like brick. Now, paleontology, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Which is similar to geology. I'd place paleontology right up there with astronomy. But geology, that's my opinion on geology. I think that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah, and also below geology is that one thing that I can't even remember because it's so boring. Gil, what's that one thing?
What are you?
I don't even know what I'm
Explain it.
referring to. That's how boring it is. I completely forgot about an
neither
entire
do
field
I.
of science.
I'm
Yeah, that's all that
so
needs to be said.
Archaeology?
That kind of fits into geology.
Yeah. It's
But
like
stars.
geology, but it's bones instead of bricks.
instead of bones to bricks.
Basically.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of them. Social science.
Oh.
What the crap? The social science. They can, like, well, what? What?
Sounds about right.
And that's all that needs to be said about that too. I mean, yeah, I think that's. I mean, engineering places high up there with physics,
Yeah.
anthropology, archaeology. All that goes into one category. Paleontology too.
Yeah.
But back to stars.
Yeah.
Plasma,
Went
that's
on
what
a
they
bit
are.
of a rant there.
Because I'm just telling you what the most important science is.
Just gotta show where stars fit in.
Because I mean, you can't converse about mass if you don't have chemistry at the top, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. So the stars are made up of plasma. And that's all that needs to be said. Big, hot, spicy balls of plasma.
They're
that
actually.
you can sometimes see if there isn't light pollution.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to get to about.
They're so cool. They even got their own song, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
They did.
But they don't really twinkle. They kind of explode in a fiery madness of energy. It's pretty
Yeah.
violent compared to what they teach you in preschool about. Oh, they're so cute and nice and pleasant to look at. But really, if you got up close to them, you'd be incinerated instantly.
Yeah. Not to mention also crushed by the gravity itself.
That too. Gravity is interesting, but we'll get to that later. We'll get to a lot of things later. There's just so
Yeah.
much science to talk about.
There's a
Caleb.
lot of stuff that we gotta talk about.
So stars are hot. You know what isn't hot, Caleb?
What is not hot, Ryder?
Benzoic acid. According to the lab today. Or
Apparently.
yesterday.
Lab yesterday.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how that lab went yesterday, Caleb? Our lab in chemistry.
Okay. So we were doing a lab in chemistry where you had to stick something into a thing of water and have it cool down and record that.
Okay, that was absolutely the worst way to say that. So
Basically,
we were given 2 vials, one with lauric acid and one with lauric acid and 1 gram of benzoic acid. And the whole point of the lab was to show that adding a solute into the solvent lowered the freezing point, which not go to plan.
Didn't happen. Not really, no.
So both of these vials were supposed to be heated up to 50 degrees Celsius. And that's the first problem, because both of ours were heated to 41 and 45 respectively, I think. 41
I think
for the
so,
pure,
yeah.
45 for the benzoic.
I believe so.
So then
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we put these into 400 milliliter beakers of water, and then put a temperature recorder in, and hook it up to the computer with a graph, and then just every second it took 1 recording. So we were supposed to find where the freezing point of this lauric and benzoic acid mixture was, because it freezes at around, I think it's supposed to freeze at like 35 degrees Celsius, Caleb. Is that right?
Really?
35, 38, somewhere around there.
Oh, well, our pure froze at around 38, 39.
Yeah, so adding the solute, which is benzoic acid, was supposed to lower the freezing point. However, we had the exact opposite effect.
Yeah. Ours raised
acid, yeah, raised the freezing point.
Raised the
which
freezing
means it
point
froze
by 1.8
at a higher
degrees.
temperature. That's like ice freezing when it's warmer outside. It's just not okay.
It just doesn't happen. That's not how that
So then during
works.
our calculations, this resulted in calculating everything kind of very, very much very incorrect.
Yeah, so our first point was, well, the first thing you had to do was calculate the molality, which is like...
Molality.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's just, molality is just moles, which is an amount of things over kilograms.
We talked about moles, Ryder. They should know both of those things if they watch the first episode.
Maybe they haven't seen episode 1 and 2, Caleb, like I told them to.
Well,
maybe they have to go back and watch those.
Maybe they should.
I don't know. Maybe they should. They definitely should.
I'll put the playlist in the description with every single one of our episodes.
That's a good idea. So yeah, molality, moles over kilograms. We had to calculate that.
Yeah, the first thing was, okay, so we were supposed to get a negative number for our change in temperature. We didn't. We got positive 1.8. And then that proceeds to throw off every single calculation that we got. To first giving us...
freezing, what did we calculate first?
Molality.
We got a negative molality.
Negative,
which then converted...
a half.
Yeah, we converted that to negative moles. So we had a negative amount of moles of atoms, or of benzoic acid, of compound, I guess.
Basically, yeah. We got anti-moles.
We got anti-moles.
Moles that should not and frankly don't exist.
And now will haunt me forever. Anytime I think of moles now, it's just going to be replaced by anti-moles because of this one experience.
Anti-moles. Sounds about right,
Anti-moles. So, we go on with our day in chemistry today, after we went over the calculations. And we go over our 6.3 note packet and do some examples of boiling and freezing point. Some pretty simple calculations because you're given pretty much all the resources you need with like the constants and the temperature and everything. But we get the first answer. What was the first number that we came across that raised suspicion?
I believe it was negative 0.66 degrees Celsius.
Demonic!
Chemistry is a satanic cult. It's proven.
At that point, we were not totally convinced. Just coincidence. Caleb, what was the next answer?
I believe it was 1.6666666666666, all sixes.
6 to infinity. Right at that moment, I was convinced. Chemistry is a satanic cult.
Chemistry is a satanic cult.
Chemistry is a satanic cult. No longer is chemistry at the top of my list. It is now at the very bottom, in the depths, in the boiler room of HE double hockey sticks. That's where it is, Caleb.
Yep.
Because chemistry is a satanic cult, and we just proved it.
And
now I can never look at it the same way again.
I believe we got one more number at some point, which was 1.066666, which is, again.
Yeah.
But also, just as we finished that problem with all of those numbers, we got 62 grams. And you gotta think, that's not really... It's not that
not significant.
Suspicious of a number.
Until you add 5.
But no, just listen. But why do you add 5? Because as soon as we
finished... relevant
finished...
sciences.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not
that
wrong.
too. But just as we finished that problem, her 5-minute timer went off.
Oh yeah, the 5-minute
you add 5
timer went
to
off.
it, you get 67. Close, but not really that suspicious. Until you realize what rounds to 67 with the two significant figures that 62 has. 66.6.
66.6!
That is 3 6s in a row.
And at that moment then and there, I left the classroom because I was scared for my life. Yep. Satan was about to arise out of the floor. He was going to come from that vial of benzoic acid.
Yeah, come back to haunt us. That's story time, basically.
Yeah, so
Chemistry
that's
is
what
a satanic cult. That's what we got from that, and that's what you should have gotten from that.
And that's all that matters.
Basically, yeah.
And also, mass is not satanic.
No.
So everybody has to remember to think mass, stay positive, think mass some more, and listen to Conversation of Mass. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a good night. Think mass.
Think mass. Don't forget, playlist in the description.